Hello, welcome once again to Mount Tabor Grand Lodge AF and AM YouTube channel. I am Grandmaster Herbert M. Ware. We're going to cover the last foundational topic of Freemasonry at this time. The past 12 or 13 videos have been establishing what, who, what, when, why, and how. And once we finish the foundational set to this at this time, we're going to go into the actual building and the specifics, so to speak, of Freemasonry. The last video we covered was what is Freemasonry part 1. This is going to be part 2. So hopefully it will be beneficial and of added value to you. These videos have been created and are being distributed in such a manner to aid the Masonic order. Again, our intent is to be of value added value to all who wish enlightenment. Now, in the last video we said that Masonry is a peculiar system of morality veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols. In this section, we're going to omit the legends, allegories, and the symbols and take a closer look at morality and its positive effects upon our lives. The entire problem of ethics, which is the habit of doing good acts, or morals, falls within the field of morality. Philosophy and integrity are deductions which man has drawn from nature in their search for truth. Masonry is a profound philosophy, with its progression resting upon the practice of morality and the living of a blessed life. It is founded on truth, or the great fundamental laws of equity, justice, and right, which runs through all manifestation, as noted in John chapter 3, verse 21. So Masonry is a teacher of great truths. It contains wisdom that belong to all the learned men of every epoch of this world's history. Morality teaches to all Masonic students how to live a blessed life in accordance with the ever-producing spiritual force of God. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33 is a must for anyone who wishes to elevate themselves, improve the quality of life, and rightly increase the quantity in their life. 1 Corinthians 15:33 tells us point blank, plain and simple, bad company corrupts good character. So therefore, it is essential that any person wanting to move forward or elevate themselves must acquire, maintain, and exercise the spirit of goodbye. Some places we don't go anymore. Some things we don't do anymore. Some people we have to cut loose. Masonry will teach its students, who have been duly and truly prepared, how to develop all those godly faculties, capacities, and powers that have been lying dormant within the sanctuary of his spirit. A knowledge of that will enable him to keep his first promise and move towards living that blessed life. So through the proper implementation of 3 great factors, which are your thoughts, wills, and prayer, a man can develop his spirit, faculties, and powers, and learn how to use them for the greater good of himself, his family, and mankind. Those 3 factors are not to antagonize each other in essential nature, but work together as one. They are to become congruent factors working on the same problems of individual life on earth. And truth, mind you, is the vital element which binds our will, our thoughts, and our prayers. let's look at the relationship between religion and morality. Morality is the knowledge and the conformity to ideals of right human behavior. It is established harmonic relations which man as an individual intelligence sustains to the spiritual principles of life. Morality is a virtue. Morality connects the man's intelligence to spiritual principles. So that's a given. That's locked in. Now, through religion and the service and worship of God, man allows or understands and learns how to apply this knowledge and how to apply it to the problems of individual life and conduct in such a manner that it maintains that harmonic relations. What does all of that mean? Simply this. The morality of a man serves as knowledge of what to do. His religion is to serve as wisdom of how to do. So they in application become one and the same, working according to a man's spiritual beliefs and revealing his integrity in all his actions, to all he see, meet, and know. So Masonry offers the perfect garden for cultivating and growing what to do and how to do in each man. Its foundation is morality. Its application is religion. It is constructive in its essential nature. It is evolutionary in its essential character. Masonry's purpose is the development of constructive spirituality. Its results is spiritual independence from and mastership over carnal world. The most effectual kind of morality is the spiritual one, because it completely severs the moral action from all natural inclination. It disassociates itself from all external performance and the need to satisfy carnal nature, and it gives us a purely spiritual character. Masons are to be fair and just in all that we do. So the awakening and the ennobling power inherent in what Christ, the Son of God, preached and practiced was implanted in the human race, creating a spiritual atmosphere which still acts powerfully on every individual soul, even if they themselves are not conscious of it. Religion and morality attempts to influence us in every way. However, religious ethics are often rendered without sufficient latitude to transform our lives entirely because of being often lost or overshadowed by our wants and misery. So we must therefore receive spiritual revelation to gain what can sufficiently supplement our religious ethics. Members of the Masonic Order today should endeavor to elevate men and Masons to a higher plane of spirituality, a higher plane of spiritual unfoldment, and provide humanity a thorough and comprehensive knowledge of moral laws and principles, so that they might enable themselves to obtain that blessed life and thereby prove the laws of God. You see, the Word of God is the very foundation of constructive spirituality. On an ethical plane of being, it builds that beautiful temple of moral character. And it continues to do so just as long as man conforms his life to the constructive principles of spirituality. So it is evolutionary in nature, which the spirituality I speak of is internally given at birth, and it lies dormant until our natural mind, our carnal mind, pokes it and wakes it up. And then it begins to seek, that spiritual nature in us begins to seek vibratory correspondence with its creator. If every Mason would keep his first promise, learn to subdue his passions, and improve himself in Masonry, which is morality, he would begin to live a blessed life. He would also realize the fact that constructive spirituality cannot be in his life. It cannot exist in any individual life except it is built upon and sustained by spiritual morality. Now, this is what the great school of masters taught and what should be positively asserted today, that the foundation of moral principle must be laid before any man or Mason can receive spiritual knowledge or know how to rightly use it for himself, his family, or humanity. So therefore, we say that every Master Mason who keeps his first promise and fulfills his obligation and conforms his life to the constructive principles of spirituality and the practice of morality, moral principles, is most assuredly to live a blessed life. The duties of a Freemason are very plain and simple. The very first duty is, again, he must acknowledge and begin to subdue his passions and learn to improve himself in Masonry. The additional requirements are also plain and simple: to be honest in contracts, to be sincere in affirming, simplicity in bargaining, and faithfulness in performing. The symbolism of Freemasonry, which is a peculiar mode of instruction, teaches all the duties which we owe to God as being his children and to men as being their brethren. The ethics of Freemasonry is really founded on two great ideas: the universal fatherhood of God and the universal brotherhood of man. So now, in summation, Masonry is nothing more than a positive venue to practice living life on earth according to the Word of God, a place where men and women with love help you get on the road to becoming what you were created to be. Now, with this foundation having been laid, we can begin covering the character, principles, and precepts of Freemasonry in additional videos. Again, I do thank you for tuning in. I ask that you do subscribe and opt to receive notifications from our when new videos come out. Also, like us, view us on the Facebook. We have a website. So follow us on Instagram, if you will. Thank you very much again for tuning in.